Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Friday, the 2nd of February. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, I am back. Didn't do a video yesterday because I didn't like the horse racing. It's also given me an opportunity to get back a little bit more closer to full fitness because I was a little bit off colour Tuesday night. So I am back. About 93.7% back to normal, something around that. We've got bets for Friday. First wagers of February for the channel. The plan for Friday is 18.50, 2 bets. There is split leg Yankee, 3 legs at Meydan and 1 horse at Newcastle. And then I've got a Dundalk Canadian. So there's no Lingfield, no Catterick, no Southwell on there. I know Kenny's off to Lingfield, so good luck with that. But yeah, from a channel perspective, didn't find anything I was too keen on there. 18.50 for Friday. So today's video, what have I got? Well, I've got to go through Friday, got to do the review of Wednesday, we'll do a mention on the golf, I've got to do the Tipster League, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a channel future of the channel update. For those particularly invested, the sort of the plan for what I think is going to happen this year as far as the channel goes. That is what I've got for today's video. So what did we do for Wednesday? Wednesday, we didn't start off the week well, or end the month well, whichever way you want to look at it. So what did we have? We had Dundalk and we had no good, Place for Sky, no good, no good. I think that was it. I think the whole thing was a dead loss on bet, wasn't it? And then bet 2, we had a non-runner. Hooray, we got a refund. No good. Glenister Place drifted to 28s, I think. Suffragette, I think, Place for Sky only. So I think it was 18 on 350 odd something back. So we ended up, I think, lost 14.48. So we've minus 14.48 for the week, which that meant is we did condemn ourselves to a loss month for January. So 35 odd quid down. So just under 2 days stake down for January. We were a similar amount up in December, so it's pretty much flat for 2 months. What we did have in January, and I put this in the comment, is we had 3 days where we had I think 2 of them 50 to 1 and 1 was 40 to 1 horses that were second. That had that result gone the other way, they would have been with a winner. 2 of those with an additional double as well. So it is slim margins. That's three days out of 21 videos of January. That the same thing happened. It's one of those ones. If you'd backed everything single, you'd have been all right for January. Definitely would have been up. So from a strategy point of view, the strategy failed to get us into profit. If you backed all the selections single only, particularly win single, then you would have been up for the month. Not by a huge amount, but you would have been up. And I guess what I constantly try and get right on the channel is. The stuff I do myself personally is a lot more complex because it blows people's minds too much, but a lot more complex than what I do on the channel. And some people would think what I do on the channel is complex, and it's trying to replicate that on the channel, and it's hard to get right. So it was a small loss month, is how I describe it. But a few things that had gone the other way. It could have been a little bit of a different picture. So. Yeah, not great because that's 2 months of just sort of nothing really, but it's not kind of a loss in that period of time. Noting that the last sort of 2.5 weeks we're on an absolute slump down, so I think it's about 90 quid swing. And last year I think 270, 280 was the worst. So it can get a lot worse. We don't want it to get a lot worse, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. You have a good day and it all looks rosy again, and then you have a few bad days in a few weeks, and then it all starts to go down again. So the reality is, 35 quid down. That's where where we are for the month. I will crack on and see if what we can come up with in February. and see if February's kind to us. Yeah, I didn't like anything on Thursday. Didn't have a better tool myself. What I would say is, though, the weekend looks particularly interesting. We've got the Leopardstown Dublin Racing Festival. So within there, a lot of the Grade 1s aren't particularly good from a betting point of view, but there's some interesting handicaps. I'm also quite keen on first glance at the Musselburgh meeting. I didn't really get involved in that last year, but it looks a little bit better this year in terms of field sizes. And there's already a couple I'm keeping my eye on. Yeah, there's one. I was interestingly, I did mention at the top of the video actually. I was looking at Cheltenham Festival stuff because I said I was going to try and do some Cheltenham Festival stuff. Being completely honest, I haven't found anything that I think is particularly Dublin Racing Festival sensitive. So my plan is to try and do my Cheltenham anti-post vid next week, and there is no Cheltenham selections on this video for ahead of that. So I'm going to plan to do Cheltenham Festival anti-post next week. But in my looking at the Dublin Racing Festival, I actually found a horse running at Musselburgh, which we'll get to potentially when we do a bonus vid on Sunday, because I wouldn't be back in it now. I want to get better extra place terms available, and I don't think it's going to shorten. But yeah, there's a horse running at Musselburgh on Sunday that I found whilst doing my Dublin Racing Festival stuff. So there you go. We'll get to that on Sunday. But I do expect at this stage, because the quality of stuff looks decent on Sunday, I'm expecting a bonus vid Sunday. So although we missed a day this week, we might still get the 4 vids, because I've got today's obviously, which is vid number 2. We'll have a vid for Saturday. Unsure at this stage whether it be Friday night or Saturday morning. And then I'm expecting a bonus video on Sunday, whether that's Saturday night or Sunday morning. I'm not sure on that, but yeah, expecting there might be a bonus vid for Sunday. So that is that. I'll just quickly mention the golf because it's only first round. Our guy in the Bahrain Championship sort of had a ropey start and got a bit better and is about 4 or 5 shots back. So not terrible, but not brilliant. And then we had 5 going on into the AT&T Pebble Beach, and looks like McCarthy's going to be potentially framing after the first round, and then they're all kind of tiered down. There's not huge shot swings between them at the moment in the tournament, so I don't think anyone, even if they're back at the back end of the field, is in a terrible position. But McCarthy's the best one of the 5 so far. That's the golf. Okay, shall I go through Friday's bets? Yeah, I think that's right. If I got to check myself. If I missed something, I think that's what I was going to do. Friday's bets. Okay, Friday's bets. Here we go. So 350 at Meydan. So last week, I don't think I touched anything at Meydan last week. I like it a little bit better, and I want to flag early doors because some of you will notice the first 3 selections in the plan are all the same jockey trainer combination. It has worked out like that. It's Connor Beasley, and he's got a full deck of rides, but I mainly focus in Meydan. I mainly look at the turf racing. I find that the dirt stuff is a little bit more inconsistent, so turf racing is where I focus my energy at Meydan. And he is a jockey I follow with this trainer, who, I'll be honest, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, his local trainer, and I off the top of my head, it won't stick with me. It's almost as bad as McGaelic. So yeah, he's a local trainer in Dubai, and Connor Beasley rides out for him. But yeah, the first 3 there. So we've got 350, Thunder of Niagara at 12s, 425 Meydan, Erzincan 18-1, and then the 610 split legged. The first one Ursa minus. They're all Connor Beasley's. That's a 28-1, and the other horse in that one Return to Dubai. A very important watch out in that 610. There are 3 horses in that race that all have Dubai in their name running at that race, 610 at Meydan. The one for the channel is Return to Dubai, 12-1. 615, then Newcastle, the only UK-based horse, Samaxi, 12-1. It's 2 times 10p each way, Yankees, so it's a Thunder of Niagara, Erzincan, Ursa Minor and Samaxi, and then Thunder of Niagara, Erzincan, Return to Dubai and Samaxi. 50p each way singles on all of them except Return to Dubai, where we're just going 50p win single on Return to Dubai. 890 is the bet. Bookie advice quite specific on this. 365 have come out just best because of best price guarantee, and then Hills 888 and Betfred are joint second best. So those four all are the best on place terms. Paddy are fifth best. Miraculously, Sky don't even make it in the top 5 bookies for that bet. I think they might have a promotion on. I think on that race. I'm not sure. I think that's probably why. Okay, and then the other bet is my Dundalk bet. So yeah, I've gone through it, and I did have a debate about whether or not to include that first horse. But Dundalk 355 Dutch Glory, it's a claimer. You do get poor place terms because bookies are 3 and there's 14 runners. But you really, in those races, you can often write out a lot of the field. So it's a bit more like, it's sort of like a novice maiden when you know there's a few donkeys in there. So it's not the best from a place terms point of view, but I think the market was really interesting because I think the favourite's probably just about the right favourite. And then there's the next 4 in the betting, and I can't really see it being out between any others than those 5. And Dutch Glory is slightly edged. It's very slight edge, but Dutch Glory 8. Then we go 6 o'clock Mere Accountant at 20s, 6:30 Banana 3 at 12s, 7 o'clock Gentle Breath at 16s, 7:30 Don't Look Now 17 to 2, 10p each way Canadian or Super Yankee, depending on your bookmaker, 50p win singles, Dutch Glory, Banana 3 and Don't Look Now. And then the last bit there, that's a bit of squiggle. 2 times 50p each way singles and a 45p each way double on Mere Accountant and Gentle Breath. 960 is the bet. Sky are definitely best for place terms, and then it's much of a muchness. Basically, Paddy 365 Labrador Coral, you get your bog if you're doing it as a multiple. But most of them are 4 places. The only one of the ones I would often mention to avoid for Dundalk is Betfair. Betfair aren't 4 places on a lot of these races. So 960 is a bet. That is bet 2. So 1850. That is what we've got. Okie doke. Right. So tips the league. Let's do tips the league from last week because it wasn't on last night's video because I didn't do one. Number 1 last week. Well done to Mike Fletcher, £70, come out on top for last week, week 4 of 2024. Mike Fletcher first. And then Bilbo Baggins, I mean, he's still going strong. He's been alive hundreds and hundreds of years, but also seemingly not a bad tipster. So Bilbo Baggins second at 50. Second week in a row, Dominic Carver was a joint third in the top 10. So Dominic Carver 45, Simon Johns 45. Susan made it to 5th last week, 43.40. And then we go down. The full top 10 will be in the comment. And then overall top 10. Again, Shosman rested his laurels. Still sat there at 320. I think he's playing the catch me if you can game because there's just no need for him to carry on playing. He's top of the board and everybody else can just try and catch him. So, yeah, Shosman's top 320. Only played 2 weeks. Des Gibbons has dropped down money but not places, 303.40. And then Mike Fletcher, because he was number 1, it's pushed him up to 3rd overall, 146. Also moved forward for Adam Essat, Dominic Carver and John P. 3,500. And then we go down to Scott, Harvey, Mark Dash. Susan's the only new entry in the top 10. She's now 9th in the top 10. And Nicholas Hambley. So a bit of movement in the top 10. Only 1 new entry, but a lot of people, the overall value of the top 10 is much, much greater. So well done to Mike and well done to Shosman for continuing to be number 1. It's going to take somebody with a big price to come in and swoop out and take that spot. But if Shosman continues to play the I'm not going to bother playing tactic, then might stay there for a while. Clearly there's not a prize involved, but there is a lot of glory involved. So to be top for 2 weeks? 2 weeks now. Well done. So that is that. I think that's everything I was going to talk about, other than kind of future of the channel and what the plan is for this year. I've kind of alluded to this already in terms of I'm likely to take a break. So I'm going to kind of firm up that plan, if you like, for this vid. So I've got what I would say is a convenient, in some respects, kind of some stuff going on in the personal life changes, like positive things, but that will it just feels it's given me a natural opportunity. So my plan is after this week that I will continue in the current format of 4 vids a week plus any bonus vids for the next 7 weeks. That takes us through Cheltenham. The week after Cheltenham then finishes on the Saturday, which is the 23rd of March, which is the Lincolnshire Handicap, which is one of my faves at the start of the flat season. And the current plan is I'm going to keep the format as is until I get to the 23rd of March. At that point, I am intending to take what I believe to be circa 6-month break from regular videos. So when I say regular videos, that means the 4 day a week schedule will just be suspended for 6 months. In that 6 months time, I honestly don't quite know what that means I will do in terms of content. It might be I feel like, I want to go and put out some bonus videos, and that might happen on a regular basis. It might be that I kind of think, no, 6 months is too long, and I might come back shorter than that. It might be that I think, no, I'm not going to do any bonus videos, but what I might do is spend some time making some content around some of the things I've talked about for a really long time, like kind of how I might read a race card and that kind of stuff. So I might make some content on there, and I might do some content on some more really basic stuff, because a lot of people know what they're doing on here, but I get new folk all the time. So it might be I do some basic stuff about what's the difference between Lucky 15 and a Yankee, and make a little some short vids, so that kind of stuff's out there. Or what difference does ground make or draw make? I don't know. I think I might, those kind of stuff. So I'm not going to make a firm plan. What I'm saying is, in the current format, I am working towards the 23rd of March as a point of a break. And I say it's come at a helpful time. I've been at this 2 years. When I started, I had no idea whether I was going to make a couple of videos or going to make 10 videos, 100 videos, and I'm now well over 600 videos. And for the last 2 years, it's sort of been a huge part of my life. And over time, it takes a little bit of energy. I get a lot of energy from it, but it takes a bit of energy, and it takes away focus from kind of family stuff and fitness. And those are 2 things that I'm going to use a break to really, really focus on. So spend more focused time with family and not looking at a computer screen or a phone or a race on the television in the same way. I'm not going to just not have a bet, let's be clear. But yeah, just focus in that way and focus on fitness. So, I've said this a few times. I used to do a lot of running, and, in the history of the channel, I ran the London Marathon about 15, 16 months ago. And I've hardly just done anything since, not had a lot of time. So I want to really focus on getting back fitter, because, yeah, fitness is important to me. It's good for well-being. So I want to have more focused time with family and more time to do fitness. That's the intention of that. As to what happens at the end of the break, I'm not sure. And I'll, the key thing for me is I'm letting you know now, and I'm going to keep you updated, because I don't want to be one of these people. There's so many people you see just one day just disappear, and you never know what happens to them on YouTube. I have got an incredibly humbling, loyal following, right? That it means the world to me. The fact that I've collected all these random people that all seem to want to like the channel and follow along. Whether or not people follow everything or some of it, or just dip in because they want to hear my weird banter or whatever, that's I don't mind. But there's a lot of people that follow the channel, and it's become part of their regular viewing, and I feel a great sense of responsibility about that. So I want to make sure people are informed and they know what's going on. I don't want to just disappear one day and nobody knows what happened to me, and puff of smoke, whatever. So so as to what happens when I come back from the break, I don't know. I might come back and I might think I'm just going to do exactly the same thing, and it's going to carry on 4 or 5 days a week. I might do that. I might come back and think, well, I'm going to change a bunch of stuff, and actually, maybe I'm not going to make it more complicated. Let's be fair. I might simplify what I do a little bit, and that's a thought in my head about whether I just put up the selections that I like for the day, but don't advise it as a kind of in betting staking plan, and just put up my preferred horses for the day and do it like that. That is a thought. I could come back and do less videos, and it might be 1 or 2 videos a week. I don't know. So I'm just being really honest and saying that's what's in my head at the moment. And I'm sat here saying I'm going on a 6-month break, but part of me is like, can I really just not do any videos on Galway Goodwood Week because I really like Galway? I don't know. So the key thing is with all this is if you're a subscriber and you've ticked subscribe, then at the point when I do go on a break and I pop back with something, the most likely way you're going to know, rather than keep searching, from YouTube, which you're very welcome to do, is turn the notification, subscribe, turn your notification on, so you get a little red dot up here, and then you'll know if I've popped up with a video or not. That would be the best way to find out. But yeah, I think what's interesting is I've learnt tons from doing this about life. Learn life all the time. I'm always learning, but how to do YouTube and stuff, and I didn't have any knowledge of how to do YouTube, and I've just sort of self-taught myself things. And there's things I actively don't choose to do, like I like to keep the thumbnail fairly consistent, like it's just me holding up the betting slip, like whatever. And if I've short of time, then I'll just put up the generic thumbnail. Like there's bits like that. Like I don't choose to do anything jazzy graphics and stuff like that. But I think it's amazed me how you can build a community, and particularly build a community around just people just being nice and sharing stuff and helping each other out with things. And that's the stuff that it's the bit that's like it's going to be hard to pull myself away from. Because I don't know whether I have an addiction to doing this YouTube channel, and it's going to be really difficult or not, or whether I think, a week or two of not doing it, I'll be like, I really appreciate having a bit more time back in my life. I don't know, and you don't know till you stop these things, right? And I've slight tangent I'll go off, but stay with me if you want, but if you don't, that's fine. You go on with the rest of your day, but because I mentioned the other day, I was going to say about this around people talk about gambling addiction, right? So gambling addiction is a real thing, right? For me, what people mean when they say gambling addiction is someone who's addicted to trying to win money or trying to win back money they've lost, right? They can't control the compulsion of having a bet because they're chasing a buzz or a feeling from winning, or they're chasing to try and get that money back. That is gambling addiction. Now, that is a horrible thing, and unfortunately, there's not billions of people that have it, but there's a lot of people that suffer from that. What there also is that people don't really necessarily talk about or distinguish is betting addiction. So you might not have to lose money, and you might not be chasing winning loads of money or chasing a buzz, but it's that compulsion to every day, part of your routine is you have a bet, and if you don't have a bet, you feel sort of twitchy and uneasy. Like, think about it, right? Same thing as like having a drink or having a smoke, and people get addicted to these things. It's not necessarily betting addiction isn't necessarily around having to spend loads of money. It's that feeling of just it's normal and you're used to, and you get twitchy if you don't do it. And that's why days like Thursday are really helpful to me. Like I can have a day on Thursday, look at it, so fancy it. Didn't have a bet. I didn't feel twitchy or edgy, but sometimes I like to make sure I can do that to know that I'm not addicted. I think for me the same thing is about YouTube, and some people might not be addicted to gambling or betting, but they might be addicted to YouTube, and they might be addicted to watching horse racing YouTube. I know there's lots of people who watch all known channels going on out there, and that's part of their life. And I guess for me, I need to understand how have I got an addiction to horse racing on YouTube, because I make videos more days than I don't, and then if I'm not making a video, I'm in the comments saying things and stuff. And so I need to make sure that I'm able to detach myself from YouTube, and I think, and also understand that what happens on a day where I personally have a right bonanza day and I'm not making a video. How do I deal with that? Because actually, part of my wandering is around actually, am I addicted to try and get a big win on the channel? Like, I'm perfectly comfortable when I lose myself, and I like winning myself, obviously. But actually, if I do win and it's not something on the channel, I generally, that makes me go, it taints a win for me at the moment. And I want to go back to sort of seeing how that is going to, if I win and I'm on a break on the channel, how do I deal with that? Because actually I want to enjoy the fact I've won, not think, I wish I had that on a video so other people could benefit, because that's sort of how I feel about it. or if I've put horses in a different configuration and personally benefited on the channel we didn't, that stuff narks me off a little bit. For some people it's going to be difficult, because some people genuinely will be addicted. It's part of their routine. They watch the videos and they go on and make their decisions about what they want to back or not. There's lots of other horse racing channels out there, but there's different stuff for different people, and I appreciate there's not. I try and do something that doesn't really. It fills a void really that there's not really of, which is a bit of chat, a bit of banter, horse racing selections and a betting strategy, as opposed to, me musing about Cheltenham Festival for 6 months long, right? And I get that's exciting. A lot of people get built up to it, but I have a view already on certain races, and I could talk about that, right? So if I went on if I wanted to make a video about what I thought about those races, but it wouldn't give me the same level of joy as sharing a staking plan, because actually there's lots of other people that do that, and there's some people who probably do it better than I'd do it. But I've got a view about that stuff. But what there isn't is somebody sharing like a strategy in that same way. But not just giving it that, but trying to give a bit of waffle. And I know not everyone wants the waffle, but I'm here for those that do. And like I'm doing now, just waffling on about stuff. So yeah, I hope people can understand that. Yeah, I feel like a break is a really helpful thing personally to me, and I want to make sure that I can have a break successfully and be comfortable with not thinking about, who else do I share my stakes with, or staking plans with, or tips, or whatever it might be. I want to be good with that. There's a part of me that also thinks, there's lots of people who've been following for a really long time and right since the beginning, and maybe some other people could do with a break, because actually it's healthy to go and see what else is out there, and whether that's you go out and see what else is out there on YouTube, or whether you go and actually see what else is out there in life, or people have an opportunity to spend more time looking at their own tips and things. I don't know. I think it might be healthy that the channel sort of slightly evolved from when I started in terms of betting advice, in terms of and how I record stats, and when I come back it might be a completely different incarnation. I don't know, but part of me thinks actually it wouldn't be a harm for some people just to have a break from me and YouTube. So actually, and it's interesting because Susan mentioned in the comments in the last video about she's thinking about sort of just taking a bit of a back seat, and I do wonder, there's people that kind of come and go in the comments, where some people I don't know what happened to them, and I do wonder, hope people are all right and things, that some people just disappear one day and come back again. But I'm sure putting out your tips every day, I do it on a video and I'm talking and you see me, if you're putting out tips every day in the comments and you're not feeling like your tips are going very well, even if no one's paying for anything and anything else, you're just doing out, just sharing them, I think it can take its toll. It's a brave person to put themselves out there and put their selections out there, and I would as an aside, just thank Susan so much, because Susan's been an integral part of the comment section of the channel, and a lot of people love, wait and see, probably arguably more than my selection sometimes, want to see what Susan's putting out, because Susan's putting their selections out more regularly than I am, because even on a day I'm not doing anything, she'll put them out there. So and so I don't blame anyone if they want to kind of have a bit of a time away. So I'm hoping as well, by me being up front 7 weeks in advance and saying this, it gives other people time to adjust, because some people might be thinking, well, I was going to have a break, but maybe I'll just wait now, or actually if you're going to be, then maybe I'll go off and come back, and so I catch the tail end. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I appreciate this is a very, very long ramble, but I kind of just brain dumping really. What's in my head, being honest about it, because it's not like I'm done with YouTube or anything like that, or I've had enough and that kind of stuff. I just think it's there's things you do for a certain amount of time, and I've got to focus I want to focus on other things in my life and get a bit of balance back, and then see what that looks like. But I have got a ridiculous amount of joy from doing this channel, from thinking who's going to watch this, to people still keep watching and subscribing and whatever, and then you know, for those days that happen every couple of months where you hit some zinger bet and then everyone's like, you know, digitally high-fiving and stuff, it's brilliant. Like you know, that in itself is a buzz. Like it feels way better than the financial reward I get from, if I personally have won a good bet, from actually being able to, you know, see other people have won, because I don't know what people do with my tips. Sometimes, you know, people don't back them all because they think it's too much. I've tried to reduce down in terms of volume, you know, so at the moment it is much more 1, 2, 3 bets than you know, we used to have a lot more days where you're talking 5, 6, 7 bets. So I've tried to kind of reduce down a little bit so it's a little bit easier to follow. I think there's some people out there who still think I put out 20 horses a day. I don't. Probably averages about 10, to be fair, which is more than a lot of folk, isn't it? But yeah, I've got so much joy from it, and I know it's gonna be an adjustment, and I'm gonna miss it. But I also think from a health point of view, it's good to be able to do that stuff, and I'm keen just to think I want to go for a run rather than I've got to do my research. And you know, sometimes, I mean, I'm doing that research for myself. I get benefit from it. I put my bets on and whatever, but then I'm sort of compelled. At, you know, evening, I'm out all day, and then I come back and have some tea, and then I'm sat there for a few hours at it, doing some research, and then thinking, well, then I've got to write it out, make a video and stuff in it. At least I'm not glamorous and editing anything like it's one hit wonder. Like if I sneeze, I cough, I make a weird noise or with my mouth. It's just all there. It's just what it is. Yeah, who knows? If I ever break, you might find some absolute genius folk fill the void and appear out the woodwork and stuff. There's always people popping up and trying all the time, but I think a lot of folk try it, and then I think there's always people that seem to think, you know, people don't want to hear you talk or whatever. But because you see my face, you know I'm a person and I'm real, and hopefully people see that sort of there's genuine intent behind everything I'm doing. So it from a YouTube point of view, it's not, you know, yes, you can have a podcast and you can go and listen to something, but it's not a substitute for actually seeing somebody, because it brings it to life more, you know, with the bits of paper and stuff. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on. I'm going to finish up there, folks. So yeah, headline is, after this week, 7 more weeks, then the plan is to take a circa 6-month break, but within that break, there may well still be days I pop up in a video. It might be that I go the whole 6 months and I don't. It might be you think I've gone for 4 months and then suddenly I pop up and there I am again. I'm setting out my intention. What I don't know is the reality. Life changes, right? So, you know, you can have a plan, but you've got to evolve the plan. You know, the best plans are the ones that evolve or iterate and change. Not, you know, they're not fixed things. So that's what I am going to do is have a break. What will happen in the break, I don't know. And when I'm back, I don't know. But what I will promise to you is I will update you when I do know what I'm doing. So whether that's in the comments or create a video to do that, I'm not just going to disappear into the ether one day and leave you hanging. But part of me likes the idea of being able to just have the time and think, well, I'm not making regular videos, so I can go and make some of the videos I've sort of said I was going to make for ages and then never got round to. So that. All right. You have a good Friday. I'll have a good Friday, and then I'll let you know some point later in Friday whether or not it'll be a Friday night video or a Saturday morning video for Saturday selections. All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.